You know what really grinds my gears? You, America.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Daily Hotpot. I am your co-host, Drift, aka Robbie.
And I am Khuon. Good morning, everyone.
Good. Great morning to you all. And hopefully, I guess, what is this, the third episode of the week? Well, that would make it Thursday. Happy Thursday, folks. Happy Thursday.
Almost there, guys. Almost there.
Almost there. One more episode, one more day of work, and you guys are through to the weekend. But Khuon, speaking of almost getting there and having some issues with that was a terrible segue. But you know what our topic today is?
Where are we? I don't know. I'm a little scared getting there. Okay, what do we have for today?
All right, let's put the scares away. Today's topic is pet peeves. I think we all got pet peeves, Khuon.
I think so too. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting. But Khuon, would you like to kick us off, brother? What are your, single or plural, what are your pet peeves?
You know, this topic is a little interesting because as a personality, I'm pretty nonchalant and I'm pretty cool with everything.
Yeah.
So just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I have any. So I did some Googling.
Oh, okay. All right.
I put in some popular, most well-known pet peeves, and let me kind of ring off a couple and see what your thoughts on it.
All right.
And
gotcha.
I think I agree with this first one. As a person who, interestingly enough, I don't like bodily noises. and anything that comes out of a person's body, I'm not into. I'm not into.
Okay. That's yeah. Go ahead.
So to start off, loud chewers, people who chew with their mouth open, or they smack their lips, or they just chew very loudly. And for me, honestly, I agree. I don't like this actually. So I feel like I don't think it's not to like criticize anyone that does it, but if you're chewing, close your mouth, man. Just chew with your mouth closed. Don't smack your lips, please.
I agree. I don't know if it's a super high pet peeve for me, but yeah, I don't like, I'm all for enjoying your food. If you're gonna let out some involuntarily or some random little some random little sound, just to be like, yeah, that food hits, go for it. Get your little food moans in. But if you're like, I can hear your saliva mushing with your fucking macaroni and cheese, and I can hear your teeth clamping and clattering, like, close your fucking mouth, man. Like, it's good. I'm cool with the moans and the groans, but I don't need to hear the textural mush of your food in your mouth. I agree.
Yeah. And I can't believe there are some people out there that watch mukbangs or ASMR of people purposely eating loudly. I don't know how that's popular. That's wild to me, to be honest.
I'm not of the ASMR mukbang. I like watching people eat food in mukbangs.
I love watching people eat food.
Yeah, especially if it's good food. Like, but the sound?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. No thanks.
Yeah, no, not for me.
All right, I got another one for you.
Okay, go for it.
And this is, I'm low-key, like, guilty of this.
Okay.
People who walk slow.
Look, I'm guilty of this too. I'm a slow walker. I don't walk fast.
I am a slow ass walker, and I wonder what my friends think when we walk together in a group. Because there are definitely times where I've noticed, like, oh yeah, I'm making people wait, right? Or like, yo, we're late for something, and I'm just in the back going, yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
So I'm definitely guilty of that, and I think I can see why people who hate people who walk slowly. Because I used to work in New York, and man, it's actually really annoying when you're like trying to get somewhere, and there's like a group of people in front of you who are just really slow at walking on the sidewalk.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? I can't say I agree. I mean, I get it, but as a fellow slow walker, look, man, I'd even say this, not just walking. This applies to like motion in general. Well, actually, maybe it doesn't apply to you because I don't think you are, but I'm also a relatively slow driver. Slow in the sense that like, I don't like, even if I'm early, I don't like speed to where I need to get to. I have friends who are speed freaks, or like they just feel like they gotta fucking rev the car and let's fucking go. But I'm someone who's pretty chill, so I purposefully, Also because I just like
Uh,
punctuality, but I purposely have some space before I need to get to where I'm getting to. And, so I can just chill drive. I'm not purposely going under speed limits. I'm going a little over, but not like racing to get to where I need to go. I like my chill walks. I like my chill drives. I like to take it easy.
That's a great segue because the next thing I'm going to talk about or wanted to bring up was bad drivers.
Oh,
And yes, for me, I'm kind of like the same as you. I do drive normally, so to speak, where it's like, okay, I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I don't have the need for speed.
mm-hmm.
I don't need to drive like 75, 80 miles per hour all the time. But there are definitely certain things that drivers do that annoy the shit out of me.
Go for it.
One, tailgating. Kind of like get off my ass for a second
Right?
there, you know? I'm not into that. But on the reverse side, and it's interesting, there's always like a reverse side to things. If you're in the left lane, you should not be driving that slow, man.
For
Like
real.
the rule of the road, if you're driving slow, you're gonna go ahead and move to the middle or the right lane. Please leave the left lane for people who are trying to pass, or get the fuck out of the left lane.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I agree. I also am a chill. Like as I said, we're both chill drivers, but yeah, if you're dogging it in the left lane and you're like it's a fucking random early Sunday morning, if you don't get your ass out of the left lane right now, man, I'm gonna honk. I'm actually not even an aggressive driver like that. I don't honk at people. Do you honk at people excessively?
No, I don't honk. I don't honk at all.
Okay, you don't like to draw attention to yourself in that way.
Not about that. I'm so like I don't give a shit sometimes. So on the reverse side, there are times where I should honk.
Agreed.
Or like, oh,
Same.
someone cuts me off, right? I'm like, oh, I should honk, but like I'm like, all right, that's too it's ironically too much effort for me to honk at you.
Man, I don't know if for me it's not the laziness. For me it's like I get my frustration off by just cursing or like saying some vulgar ass thing in the car that I just give up on the honking. I give up on the honking. Some other people have to do both. Some have to like honk and get their shit out because it's like, I'm frustrated, but okay, fuck it. I got it out. Whatever.
Yeah, road rage is interesting because like I've been in cars where it's like people who are like me who just don't give a shit. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You're scaring the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the reverse side, it's like, oh, people who road rage. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You're scaring me. So it's interesting watching, two different people handle certain similar situations quite differently.
Yeah, it's super interesting because I've also been in this situation where you just got friends that are like raging or like I remember one time, I won't say which friend, but I was in the car with a friend in the back seat and him and his girlfriend were driving the front and we were going somewhere and someone like hard cut them off for the on-ramp on the freeway. And my friend just had time today. He had time today. So he passed the red light because it's green to go and they chop it off during high traffic hours. Passed the red light, just fucking revved it up and tailgated this guy on the freeway. While this guy like basically started brake checking my friend. And luckily my friend has good brakes because he did not back off when he started brake checking. He said, fuck you, I'm gonna tailgate you all the way till you get off the freeway or speed off and I can't catch up. And I was like holding on for dear life, strapped into my seatbelt, holding the back of the rest of the front seat and like anything I could grab in my left as I'm like being herky jerked, gonna get whiplash as he just couldn't control himself. He said, fuck it, let's go. And his girlfriend was like egging him on, like, yeah, fuck that guy, let's go. And I was like, guys, I'm in the back seat. I'm in the back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Super interesting.
Yeah, not me though. Definitely not us. Not us. That's not us.
I don't think I've ever road rage, but so I don't understand road raging, but it's kind of fascinating that, people would just like get the shit out there and just go crazy. But like I feel like on the reverse side, it really doesn't matter because I feel like if someone was road raging against me and I did something wrong, I'd be like, all right, but what the fuck are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tailgate me? Like, nah, there's nothing you could do. So I never got that per se. I never got road raging.
Yeah, I think all I do is yell some expletives, not like out the window or anything, but I say, "What the fuck, this fucking guy, fuck you," and then move on. Like you do that to yourself, and you'll feel better about it. But definitely, I'd say if you are a road rager, just hey man, you can yell all the expletives you want, you can rage in your car, but just don't let that turn into physical actions in your driving, because hey man, you're driving a how many ton metal moving death machine. Please don't put other people's lives in danger. God forbid. Anyways, Khuon, let's move away from that. What do you have any other pet peeves for us this episode?
Well, one last one, and this might be related to a group setting or, if you're on a date or something. Hey, someone who's constantly on their phone.
Oh, bro.
So for me, when I'm at dinner, or if I'm like going out to do something with someone and we're sitting at a table, I wouldn't say I get annoyed. I don't really care. I'm pretty indifferent towards it, but I'm like, yo, why are you like always on your phone? And it's always like for no reason either. It's like, oh, immediately they would like pop open Instagram. Immediately they'll start scrolling on TikTok. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on here? Can we just like, kind of just chit chat for a second? Or if you're chit chatting and they're on Instagram, like,
oh my dude, that's even more annoying.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't say it's disrespectful because, some people just like to be distracted and also multitask, so to speak. But I don't know. It kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to the date one, all of a sudden it's just like, okay, I see where this is heading. I can read the room. I can read the vibe. But I think it annoys me more when it's like that like iconic meme image, that boomer meme image, when you see a group of kids or a group of people hanging out in a circle and they're all on their phone. Like no one's speaking to anyone. They're all just on their phone. That shit irks me because I've been in that situation a couple of times. I think luckily I have friends that tend not to, or at least are socially aware enough to know that like, hey, we're hanging out. If there's a lull and everyone's just chilling, okay, be on your phone, but like we're all having a chat and you're just chilling. But I get it. I do have sympathy for some people that like, I think for some people socially, they just don't like the silence, or they don't like that little break in the conversation. So their default like innate reaction is to pull out the phone. Like I just need to be on something because I can't think about this social silence for a second. I understand that, but yeah, no, my biggest pet peeve for sure on that is definitely when there's a big group of friends and we're just all on our phones. Like, okay, why the fuck am I here, y'all? Like, why are we here?
I can see it both ways. One, they're like socially awkward, and they need to like have a little barrier, a little safe barrier to kind of like not protect themselves, but like, all right, I don't want to like fully immerse myself in this environment because it's kind of scary. So I'll be on my phone. And on the reverse, it's like, oh, okay, this is boring. I'm just off my phone. I think recently, and this is not definitely, don't take this the wrong way, but this is definitely not a bad thing. Yeah, I met up with Tan and Ashley.
Shout out to Tan and Ashley. Thanks for listening to the pod, guys.
Yeah. So we were at dinner and they were on their phone a lot. And I was like, what's going on? And then I'll look over. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're just scrolling Instagram while we're talking. And I didn't mind it at all, obviously. But I just thought it was kind of interesting difference between, I think it's because we're old. But
we're old.
I think it's just the difference. Like, oh, they're just chit chatting while being on their phone all the time. So it's kind of interesting.
I think, this whole pet peeve on this side of things, I think it's just because we're old. Like,
I think so too.
We grew up just not, we grew up in the sense that if you're talking to someone and you're doing something else, it just feels disrespectful. We were taught like, hey, if you did that to your parents or some shit, like you get your shit smacked. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Being disrespectful. Yeah. But I think today's kids, today's adults, growing up in this environment, maybe they're just better multitaskers than us. Maybe it's just like,
they're just smarter.
They're just smarter. They're not, they're just better. They could just do two things at the same time, can consume social media and also have a full-fledged conversation. Like maybe we're just not up to snuff, Khuon.
They're just better than us. All right. We learned a good lesson today.
Good lesson. Good chat. Two old farts. Old dogs do learn new tricks, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So those are a couple of the ones I found. What about you? Can you think of any?
Oh, yeah. I got a few. I nailed it to a few because I think I do have a few pet peeves. I'm generally like you. I'm generally pretty chill, but if something does bother me, it fucking bothers me. It bothers me quite a bit. Anyways, as for pet peeves, I think number one for me is... well, not number one as it is my most pet peeve, but number one as in first on the list. Number one for me is definitely when people leave you on like red for like a super long time and they're really bad at responding.
Bro.
That's a big pet peeve for me.
My bad. to everyone who I left on red. My bad. I'm a little guilty here, but okay, go ahead.
I have sympathy for it. It's a pet peeve, but not in the sense that like I'll like think lesser of someone who does it, because people have genuine reason for it. Life happens, things happen. Some people have that iconic moment. They always make memes about like that moment where you mentally know that you responded to a text and then you realize you actually never did and it was a false memory. I understand that completely, but boy, does it, it still kind of sucks where you like send over a text and you're like, hey, yo, do you want to go do something? Or hey, did you get back to me on this? Or hey, did you find out this? And it could literally be a whole ass day and they don't respond to you and they go like, oh, okay, cool. I have a lot of friends like that. That's what's conditioned me to be okay with it. But definitely early on when I was early on in texting, people would take hell long to respond. And, especially when you're early on in like middle school, high school, you go like, damn, do people just not fucking like me, bro? Like people just don't want to respond to me. But yeah, as I've made friends who are just as they self-title themselves, the shittiest responders. Hey man, you're a shitty responder. You're terrible at returning texts. Okay. So nowadays I just send shit and go like, well, I'll get a response when I get a response, I guess.
Yeah. So as the guilty party in this,
yeah. Would you like to defend yourself?
not defending the action itself, but a lot of times it's like I'll get like the message or the phone vibrates. I'll like flip it over. I'll see the text. I kind of get a good general gist of what the message is. And then I put the phone down thinking, I'll just reply to it later. And, I'll just forget. Like it's like, all right, whoops, my bad. Not to defend it, but that's probably 80%, 70% of what happens most of the time.
No, for sure. That's usually what my friends tell me. It's like, yeah, I saw it, I flipped it, and I was like, okay, I'll get to that in a second, and then just forget. Like,
yeah, it's the problem with just getting notifications. Maybe notifications are to blame. I don't know.
That's true. Then again, when would people ever check their texts? It's like emails.
Mm-hmm.
I think this generation's fucked with emails, to be honest with you.
I don't know if we can relate to this, but I know a lot of times there's a certain, especially in dating, or if you're like on dating apps, or if you're getting into the dating scene, where it's like part of the game, right? There's a whole dating game of going back and forth with like, oh, you shouldn't reply to this person with immediately, or like, oh yeah, you want to leave them on red. I would love to have like we should have a dating etiquette or a dating story episode where, we'll get people to come in and be like, okay, what's going on with this? We'll ask them questions. Like, so why do you leave people on red? What's going on there?
Us boomers gotta like learn the new age language of dating, texting, and like etiquette.
Yes.
It's You know what? Well, I think Khuon, as soon as you said that, you and I think both know exactly a couple people that we have on the podcast. We're not gonna name names. We're not gonna name names, but we know exactly who could.
Yeah, you'll get a DM from us like, hey, you want to come talk about this?
This is perfect. Yeah. That's a pet peeve. As for the second pet peeve, this is an old pet peeve, but one that like really fucking like bothered me. I think as an artist yourself, Khuon, or at least a past deep artist, you will agree with this. Doesn't happen much anymore as an adult, but you and I drew as kids, maybe more as a hobby nowadays, and we had a talent for it. How annoyed were you when people would see you draw something and they're like, "Oh, you're a good drawer. Hey, could you draw me right now?" And bro, I hated that question so fucking much, bro. They would always, and like, by the way, this is a spoiler for a future topic of the pod, but they would just come up and like, it's always the same thing. It's never like, oh, yeah, you're a good artist. Oh, I like the way you draw this or that, or this, that. It's always like, man, you're a drawer, huh? That's cool. Hey, could you like look at me and draw me right now? The amount of times I got that from elementary school, middle school, high school. I don't understand this fascination with people and being like, yo, I bet you could draw me right now, or I bet you can't draw me. Like, fuck off, bro. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm drawing my freaking fucked up, Dead Space looking monster thing, and you're asking me to render your grotesque ass on this fucking notepad. No, get away from me. I mean, it makes me sound like an asshole, but like, Jesus, if you have ever said that to someone drawing, I don't mean to make you sound like a villain, but just know that person has been asking request that 1,000 times. And it wasn't good the first time, and it wasn't good the 10,000th time. Just compliment them, acknowledge they're good at art or good at drawing, painting, whatever. Don't make a request formally there, unless it's like a joke. You're like, hey, could you, draw me unicycling over a fucking bear eating tortillas? Like, haha, funny. That's not even a joke, but whatever. But can you draw me now? Bro, go away. Yeah, you know what? I said it wasn't a big deal, but all those memories flushed back into me, and you know what?
It sounds like it's coming back. I'm like, oh, you're the volume's increasing in your voice a bit.
It's yeah, wow. That brought back some memories.
I can definitely agree with that one, especially growing up in like middle school and high school. But I think also, really, at the end of the day, it came down to who is asking you.
True.
It definitely depends on who, right? Especially as a young boy in high school. And there are definitely times where I'm like, oh, wait, what? Oh, wait, hold on. But you're cute. Sure, I'd love to. Why don't you sit there? And I think that was like a part of young Khan's shitty attempt at Riz. We're like, yo, why don't you have a seat? Let me draw you. Yeah, let me draw you this pretty girl. They're like, oh my goodness, thank you. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I'll be honest. I can see it both ways. There are definitely times where I'm like, nah, fuck off. But it depends on who.
Look.
You're a cute girl. I might just be like, yeah, sure.
Look, the artist Riz, that's some next level or some low level artist Riz for sure.
Very low level.
Yeah, I guess unlucky enough, I never was in a scenario where like anyone that I thought was attractive asked me. It was always just some random motherfucker would say something, and I'm like, bro, go away. Even if it was a girl, like generally speaking, like I think whenever they asked me, I wasn't even thinking at the time that they were attractive. But like, bro, no, leave me alone. I'm drawing. I'm in my Zen space. Go away.
You know what? You're a true artist, bro. I was definitely a little poser who could draw well. It's like, oh, wait, let me use my talent to further my high school social life versus let me immerse in my art.
I get that.
Little con poser. That's what he was.
I think the difference for me was because by that point, like middle school, high school is when I was developing my more outgoing personality, so I didn't rely on my drawing to like be my sell point. Like
Yeah.
But definitely sometimes it would be, be like, oh, draw me. You're the one who draws well, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. I draw well. Haha. But yeah, that's
I had no
school.
Personality in high school. I was very much like a piece of iron block that didn't have a personality.
A Minecraft, 9 pieces of iron,
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I think I was pretty well known as, the guy that could draw well. That was kind of like at least a third of my personality.
Hey man, that's all high school ever is. It's labels and you're that guy, you're that girl for the rest of your time there. Or even better, some people complain about it, but I think it's a beauty to be just, I don't know who you are. You know what? Just I don't know you. It's like, all right, cool. You know what? Just get through high school, whatever. That's time. That's definitely an episode gone. Maybe some high school tales might be something in the future.
Ooh, no. Khan in high school was a terrible person.
I wasn't so great either.
Yeah, I was not a good kid.
Well, even better to share.
But
those are my main 2 pet peeves with this episode. Khuon, do you have any pet peeves that snuck into your mind or anything that's come to you?
I think the final one for me for this talk would be burping and farting.
Like
going
just
back
in general?
Going back to bodily noises. As a guy, as a male, I should not be. I should not be like offended by these things, but man, I am not a fan of it. Like personally, I don't do it, and it kind of like I'll like close my eyes and just roll my eyes in my head, just privately every time it happens.
Even at home, like alone?
No, like when in a group setting, like in public.
Okay,
in public.
That's
it. That's all I got.
Does this involve queefing as well? That's also part of the bodily sound. Look, I'm just trying to clear things, There are times, come on, Khuon. There are times in the fun times, other bodily just sounds happen. Look, is that also a head shake moment?
Nah, we're chilling there.
We're chilling. Okay, it's almost cute, It's kind of cute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Is this a part of the dating topic episode?
This is look out for the DMs, folks. All right, well, that was today's episode of the Daily Hotpot. Wow. Thank you guys so much for listening to all the sounds and bodily fluids and things that came out of our mouths today. I so apologize for it, but yeah, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy.
Bye.